my beautiful bookish friends, I'm Bowen and welcome to my channel. This video is going to be my September wrap up. My goal for September was to solely read from my physical TBR because I feel like I've been reading quite a few of my books on my Kindle recently. I feel like I've neglected my bookshelves while I've added to it quite a lot. So I just wanted to read from my physical TBR, and while I didn't read that much, I only read 12 books, it is very satisfying to see an entire stack of everything that I've read throughout the entire month. So let's get into all of the books that I read in the month of September. I'm going to start this wrap up at the end of the month and work backwards. So we're going to start this video with Sapphire Storm by C. Travis Rice. This one I gave a 4-star and a 2 spice rating. I have been putting this book off for the longest time because this is book 3 in the Sapphire Cove series, and book 2 broke me. I will scream about book 2 in this series from the rooftops for all time. So because of how much book 2 hurt my feelings, it took me a minute to get to this one, but I am very glad I did. There's one aspect of this book that just doesn't sit well with me other than the age gap, and it's how Roman knows Ethan. And I don't want to tell you what it is because it is a spoiler, but Roman originally goes to meet Ethan for revenge because Roman believes that Ethan was the downfall of his parents' marriage. But when Ethan explains to Roman that that's not how it happened, that's not how it panned out, then Roman starts to see Ethan in a whole new light. But there's one thing that this author does really well, and that's a very gripping plot. Because while there is the whole revenge aspect of it, that kind of wraps up pretty quickly, but there's a whole nother sinister plot with Roman's employer. And even though very recently, like the same day, Roman has tried to entrap Ethan and accuse him of something that he didn't do, Ethan sees the hurt that this man is going through and still wants to help him regardless. I love the plot of this book. The plot of this book is so gripping, it had me on the edge of my seat. It's just that how they were connected and the reason that Roman wants the revenge just doesn't sit right with me. But I am very glad that I did get back into this series and I'm back into this world, and I can't wait for my next trip to Sapphire Cove because this series I feel like is just so underrated. This one is probably my least favourite in the series, but it's still a really good book and I still really recommend this series. The tropes do contain some mild spoilers, so if you don't want to listen to that, just mute me for the next like 5 seconds. The tropes are age gap, sex worker, kidnapping, and family's ex, sort of. Next we have Claimed by the Horde King by Zoe Draven. This one I gave a 3.75 and a 2 spice rating. While I've not read all of Zoe Draven's backlist, of the ones I've read, I think that Nell is probably my favourite female main character from any of her books. Because when he fucks up, she doesn't just roll over and take it, she 100% calls him out on his bullshit. Because the Horde King in this book is kind of wishy-washy, like sometimes he wants her, sometimes he's like, oh, we shouldn't, and he kind of goes back and forth within himself, and it does come across like he's just playing her around a bit, like not intentionally, but that is what he does, and she calls him out on his bullshit, and like, you can't do this to me, you can't be playing with my emotions like this, get it together, or I'm done. So I don't really love him as a main character, but I really like her. That's what really sold this book for me. One thing about this book, when I was looking at other people's reviews, is there's one word that does come up constantly. Now, I didn't necessarily notice it while I was reading it, but then I flipped through the book and was like, oh no, you have a point. The word rasped comes up like every 3rd page. Like, he just needs a cough drop so fucking bad. While this one isn't necessarily my favourite book by this author, with every single book of hers that I pick up, I seem to have like a really good time, so I can't wait to get to more from her. The tropes for this one are aliens, kidnapping, and forced proximity. Next up we have a relatively new release, and that's People Watching by Hannah Bonham Young. This one I gave a 4.5 and a 2 spice rating. I have seen some very mixed reviews for this book, and I understand where those people are coming from, but I just loved it because there's something about Hannah Bonham Young's writing that just does it for me, even with topics that with other authors just don't work and kind of give me the ick. For some reason, when it's her, it just works. I have an actual example of this as well, because in the next book that I'm going to be talking about, and in this book, the same topic of conversation was brought up. However, in this one, it felt a lot more of a healthy conversation, whereas the other one just gives red flags and truly gives me the ick. And it's the topic of body count. Now, in this one, the female main character is a virgin, and she is the one that brings up the discussion, and she asks how many people that he slept with, because obviously he slept with more people than she has because she slept with 0 people. But the way that she asks is not in a way that's jealous or judgmental, it's just pure curiosity and intrigue. But when it happens in the next book that I'm going to be talking about, it comes from a place of jealousy, and that just gives red flags. But in this one, it just feels like a very wholesome conversation. And this one kind of has a little bit of insta-lust to it. Milo is very hooked on Prue from like the very first time that he meets her. But Prue is already going through a lot. Her mother's got early onset Alzheimer's, and her dad are trying to deal with that, plus keep his family business running. Emotionally, she is going through a lot within her family life. And so is Milo, because Milo was raised by like really shitty parents, but him and his siblings all have this very close dynamic, even though he travels a lot, so he's not physically around them that much. When his brother makes this call to arms that like, no, I need you to come back, I need you here, he immediately is on the first flight back, and he immediately goes to stand by his brother for whatever his brother needs. Which puts him in the same small town as Prue, and that's how they run into each other. Hannah Bonham Young is just an auto-buy author for me. I can almost guarantee every single book that she writes, I'm going to instantly read it almost the second that I get my hands on it. And it's probably going to be at the very least a 4-star. And I don't know what it is, but she writes books that are warm and cozy and wholesome and just healthy in the best way possible, and I just love them. I eat them up every time. The tropes for this one are Love at First Sight, Teach Me, Neighbours, and Small Town. The next book that I'm going to be talking about that I've already sort of mentioned is The Hardest Fall by Ella Mays. This one I gave a 3-star and a 2 spice rating. I don't know why I didn't know that this was a college romance, but clearly I'm a dumbass. This book follows Dylan and Zoe's friends dare her to kiss some random guy, and they choose Dylan. And Dylan at the time has a girlfriend, so she basically is like, oh, no, sorry, didn't know, my friends are assholes, I'm gonna go. Year later, they see each other again. Dylan wants to kiss her this time, but now she's the one that has a boyfriend, and they've kind of made this decision, like, if they're ever single, then they'll get together, but for right now, no. So 2 years later, they do finally end up being roommates. This book honestly left a bad taste in my mouth because the common denominator person between these two characters that is the reason why that they're roommates, that shouldn't have been what it was. Dylan finds his girlfriend cheating on him with 2 of his teammates, so he's not playing at his full potential because he feels very betrayed, both by his girlfriend and by his teammates. And his coach is like, I have this place that you can live in, you can go live there, but I need your discretion in this. So when Dylan gets there and he finds out that there's another girl that he's already had this interaction with that is also living there, he is led to believe that Zoe is having an affair with the married coach. And because we as the readers are also led to believe that, I didn't like Zoe, because that just really left a bad taste in my mouth. Like, why would you choose to portray it that way? Especially considering the actual reality of the situation. Like, I understand it from a storytelling perspective, but it means that I now don't like the characters. Honestly, I nearly DNF'd this like multiple times. Fortunately for me, I had the audiobook for it, which is a very easy way for me to actually get through any book. But honestly, I don't think that this is a keeper for me. I think if you like college sport romances, then maybe, because this does have a lot of drama in it. And as I was saying before, this also has the body count conversation in it, and it comes across as a very jealous, red flag, toxic conversation. I just didn't love this. I understand the merits of this, and I understand why someone would like this. I am not someone. The tropes for this one are sports and roommate. The next book is Fall into Temptation by Lucy Score. I gave this one a 2.5 and a 3 spice rating. This is honestly my biggest disappointment because I love Lucy Score books. I have given multiple of her books 5 stars. But when it flops so bad. This is her first series, so this is the second book in the first series that she ever wrote. Honestly, you can tell there are little bits of the author that she will become, but in this, I just didn't get it. I nearly DNF'd this multiple times. I bought this one recently and I nearly returned it. Like, I just didn't love this one, and I didn't really love the first book in the series either. This one follows Beckett and Gianna, and Gianna moves into the small town and she starts setting up a yoga studio there, and she is a single mom, she's got 2 kids. With her very unreliable ex, one of her children is technically her ex's from a previous relationship, but because her ex is so unreliable and he's like a musician and he travels a lot, she has been awarded custody of a kid that she is not biologically related to, so that is saying a lot about her ex. And the property that she moves into in this small town is technically Beckett's because she is the one renting from him. The property is on his land and he is the mayor of this small town. Also, their parents are dating, so his mum is dating her dad. That's a very recent thing. Their parents got together when they were both adults, so while you could argue that it's a step-sibling thing, when they get together as fully grown adults, one of which who has kids, it doesn't feel step-sibling to me, which is a good thing, because step-sibling stuff gives me the ick. I put this on my 24 to read in 2024 last year, and I never got round to it, and I now know why. Because there's this whole back and forth of, like, they shouldn't be together, but there's no real reason for it. Like, yes, he is her landlord, that never really gets brought up more than once. Their parents are dating, but what's that got to do with anything? Because their parents are fully grown adults, and so are they. They don't live with their parents. It has nothing to do with anything. And she's like, oh, I'm a single mum. Like, that has anything to do with the fact that she can't date. It's just silly. So they both have this thing where it's like, oh, we can't be together, but there's no real reason as to why. Especially because right from the very first interaction that they have, it's very clear that they're attracted to each other. So the whole forbidden aspect of it just felt really stupid to me. Like, it did have some moments where I laughed out loud, but I think if I'd have started Lucy Score's books with this series, I'd never pick up another one again. And that's just really sad, because I would have missed out on some amazing books. So I think maybe I might have to skip this series. Or maybe I just have to read them on my Kindle before I clutter my bookshelf with physical copies that I don't love. I'm sad for me. The tropes for this one are single parent, small town, and neighbours. Next we have Quicksilver by Callie Hart. This one I gave a 4.75 and a 3 spice rating. And that is a good percentage of my rating of this book for the last 20% of it. Maybe. But I said what I said, because the cliffhanger at the end of this book, I'm so glad book 2 is coming out very soon, because I need it in my hands, in my eyes, in my ears, in my brain. I need it in my bloodstream. This is one of those books that reads like a movie. Like, I could picture this so clearly in my mind. It was so action-packed, and I love the banter, and I love the characters. There is just something about a self-sacrificing male main character that just does it for me. If you love Reese from ACOTAR, then Kingfisher is your man. Him and Sarah's push each other's buttons in all the good and the bad ways. Their banter is just delicious. The plot of this just has me on the edge of my seat, especially that cliffhanger. I need book 2 in my life. Like, immediately. Luckily, I haven't got that long to wait for it, and hopefully I can get to it soon while it's still somewhat fresh in my brain. Honestly, Kingfisher starts out as kind of a jerk, but Sarah doesn't back down from him, and she will push his buttons right back. And the more they get to know each other, the more that they let each other in, the more that they learn and grow with each other. And it's so good. I love the plot of this. I love Carrion because he is just a sarky little shit. And like, fuck do I love him. I kind of wanted to slap him at the very start of the book, but by the end of it, he is just my favourite side character. I fucking love him. I loved the plot of this, and Sarah's learning to harness the Quicksilver and everything was just, it was so good. I can't wait to read the next book in this series. I had such a good time with this. I don't know why I put it off for so long, but no more. I am on the hype train for this book. I absolutely fucking love it. There are quite a few tropes for this one, so there are vampires / fae, because there are both in this one. Magic, fated mates, enemies to lovers, deal with the devil, chosen one, hidden identity, pet, and age gap. Next we have Teacher of the Year by M.A. Wardle. This one I gave a 3.25 and a 3 spice rating. This book follows Marvin and Olan, and Marvin is a kindergarten teacher, and Olan is the parent of one of the kids in his class. And this is an MM romance between the two of them, and Marvin is also going up for Teacher of the Year. I honestly don't know what makes Marvin qualify for Teacher of the Year. There are some things that are, I want to say, pink flags. They're not quite red flags, but they're not great. Like him giving out his personal number to all of the parents, which very much screams no work-life balance, as well as him starting a relationship with one of his students' parents, as well as a few other things that I'm not going to point out because they're spoilers. There are a couple of things he does which are good, but that's more like being a good teacher, rather than being an above and beyond Teacher of the Year level of teacher. This is told a single POV from Marvin's perspective, and honestly he was getting to the point where he was getting on my nerves. I think this would have been better as dual POV, mostly because then it would have developed Olen's character a lot more. This also deals with the topic of alcoholism. I don't know whether that was done well or not because I have no experience with that, but it didn't sit well with me because the way that Marvin handled it wasn't great. Marvin has an alcoholic mother who is in recovery, but because of the way that him being raised by an alcoholic affected him, he also has an issue with someone that is an alcoholic. Olen is an alcoholic, but he is in recovery. He has been in recovery for a very long time. But Marvin doesn't handle the fact that before they met, he relapsed, which is somewhat part of recovery. Like, he doesn't handle that well. I just don't like the way that that was done. Like, it's a cute romance, and if you're looking for just a no thoughts in your brain kind of book, then maybe, but I think there are definitely better books than this one. It was just okay, very middle of the road, and honestly, I'm probably never going to think about it again. The tropes for this one are single parent and pet. Next, we have Fighting Instincts by Lana Cole. This one I gave a 3.5 and a 5 spice rating. This is a Why Choose Omegaverse book, and it primarily follows the main character of Stellan, who is a boxer and also happens to be an Omega. Now, when he was younger, he grew up with his best friend Elise, and they were in a relationship before they found out what designation they were, and it turns out they're both Omegas, and two Omegas are not meant to be together or in the same pack or anything like that. But Stellan and Elise loved each other, but Elise also wanted to find her pack. She wanted to find her alphas. She wanted to keep Stellan as well, but Stellan was like, two Omegas can't be in the same pack. So you go off and do your thing and we will just be friends. But obviously this has really hurt her because he has broken her heart and his own. And oh my fucking god, does he whine about it so much. The whole first half of this book is basically Stellan being very woe is me, because at the start of this book he is an underground boxer, but he is trying to be recruited by someone that works in the industry, and one of the people that tries to recruit him is actually one of Elise's alphas. But when the recruiter and Elise's alpha, Niles, finds him beaten to a bloody pulp in an alley, he takes him back to the pack house to basically heal him, especially because one of the other alphas in this pack is also a doctor, so they can help heal him. So when they bring him back to the pack house, it's like, oh my god, this is where Elise is. That you're one of Elise's alphas, and he tries to like hold himself back. But now that he's in proximity to Elise, his feelings for her are coming back, but he's also getting feelings for her alphas too. The problem I find with these books is there's just too many characters. Now don't get me wrong, I love a Why Choose story, but when there's like 6 characters, it does get to be a lot, especially when you definitely have like main characters and then characters that don't get a POV at all. Out of the 6 characters, only 4 of them get a POV in this. 2 of the alphas and the 2 omegas. But the other 2 alphas in this pack, they don't get a POV in this book. This book could have been easily 200 pages less and 2 alphas less, and it would have been fine. There was an external plot outside of the relationship, but it fizzled out really quickly, that I didn't really care. It honestly just seemed like a lot of smut and not a whole lot of anything else. The tropes for this one are Second Chance, Why Choose, Omegaverse, and Sports, because he's a boxer. Now the rest of the books in this video are from my birthday reading vlog, so if you've not seen that already, it's going to be linked in the description down below. But the first one of those I'm going to be talking about is Lore Olympus Volume 5 by Rachel Smythe. This one I gave a 4.75 star. Now there's not really a whole lot that I can say about this one, again, because it's Volume 5. This is a graphic novel that's a Hades and Persephone retelling, probably one of my favourite Hades and Persephone retelling of all time. The artwork is just stunning. I love the storytelling in this. In this volume, they finally kiss, and oh my god, it had me kicking my feet so much. But Corey, our Persephone character, does have some secrets, and they start to come to light in this one, especially with Minthy and her gang of friends that are kind of out to get her. All of the other gods will know soon enough. The one thing I love about Greek mythology is how messy the gods are. Like, it's just such chaos. I can't wait to get to more books from this series. I fucking love this. The tropes for this one are retelling, age gap, and workplace. Next, we have The Fake Out by Stephanie Archer. This one I gave a 4.75 as well, and a 4 spice rating. You see this couple on the cover? You see how he is a blonde man? She made me fall for a blonde man. I don't know how I feel about it, but I absolutely fucking love this one. This is a fake dating her ex's rival. This book follows Rory and Hazel is a physiotherapist that works for this hockey team that Rory is a part of, and her ex has recently been transferred onto this team. So now she has to do physiotherapy on her ex that cheated on her and is generally just an all-and-out creep. So in order to basically make him back off, she decides that she's going to fake date Rory, who is someone that her ex absolutely cannot stand. And Rory agrees to fake date her to look good in front of his coach and to look like a good captain. Realistically, he's just had a thing for her for pretty much the entire time that they've known each other, and if he gets the opportunity to date her, fake or not, he is going to take it, because he has just been besotted with her for fucking ages, and I ate this shit up. I don't know what it is about Stephanie Archer, but oh my god, I just fucking love her. Rory is the perfect combination of sweet and cocky and patient, and I just love him. Hazel takes a while to warm up to him because she doesn't really want to date anyone, especially a hockey player, but you can't not love him. Now don't get me wrong, they both have their own individual issues, especially in relation to their parents, that they do have to work through, but they support each other so well. I fucking ate this shit up. I had such a good time with this. The tropes for this one are sports, fake dating, and no third act breakup. Next we have Bewitching Rago by Victoria Aveline. This one I gave a 5-star and a 2 spice rating. I've said it before, and I will say it again. This is my favourite series of all time. I fucking love this. This one follows Rago, who we meet originally in book 1, and I've been looking forward to his story for so long. He is honestly the sweetest cinnamon roll. Like, don't get me wrong, he is 7 foot tall with red skin, horns, and looks like a demon. However, he is just a fluffy marshmallow, and I fucking love him. Now, at the start of this book, he is on a mission to rescue a different human woman who is the mate to one of his friends. Because unbeknownst to this other woman, her and his friend are mated, and his friend is becoming sick because he's been separated from his mate. So Rago is trying to marry his friend's mate in order to get her to him. However, at the games where he goes to rescue this human woman, he encounters Aurora, and Aurora is his fated mate. So now it's a case of, like, does he get his fated mate, or does he get his friend's fated mate and help him? Or, like, how can he rescue both women? So while he has every intention of helping his friend out and rescuing his friend's fated mate, the draw to Aurora is just too strong, and he ends up catching her instead and mating her. I love how soft these were for each other. Rago has been shunned most of his life by his people, and he just wants to be loved and he wants to be mated, and Aurora is the perfect pairing for him with that. Aurora is also a kitchen Wiccan, which basically means that she puts her intentions into the food and the teas and everything that she makes, and she does this also to help Rago in any which way she can. The ending of this one genuinely had me shocked. I wasn't expecting it. I should have done, but somehow I didn't expect this at all. I really want to know who the next book in this series is going to be about, because if it's about who I think it is, then they've got some explaining to do. Like, I gotta know. But I absolutely fucking love this series. I ate this up, 5 stars. I had the best fucking time with this. The tropes for this one are plus size, aliens, and fated mates. And my first read of September and my final book for this video is Lost and Lasso by Lila Sage. I gave this one a 4-star and a 2 spice rating. This book follows Teddy and Gus, and they've been at each other's throats, enemies-ish, for most of their life, because Gus is Teddy's best friend's elder brother. I did like to see the banter between these two characters in the other books in this series, and in this one as well, but their animosity isn't really based on anything in particular other than preconceived ideas, like the fact that Teddy was always getting her best friend into trouble, which is obviously Gus's younger sister. So he thought that Teddy was irresponsible, and she just thought that he didn't like her, which is sort of the case. But I think it's just really hard to do a contemporary enemies to lovers that is based on anything real. I like it for the banter, but as far as the enemies part goes, questionable at best. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Gus because he is just my favourite type of grumpy, which is basically he's a big softie, especially towards his daughter. Like, for example, in this one, Gus is dyslexic, and he reads his daughter's books to himself first, so when he reads it to his daughter, he can get it right. And honestly, I just thought that was so fucking cute. Teddy is kind of chaos, but in the best way possible. It is very difficult with this one, though, not to see the parallels between this and Heartless. And Heartless obviously does it better. But what got me with this book is the author's note at the end. This book is essentially a love letter to father-daughter relationships. And as someone whose dad is their best friend, I felt that shit in my fucking soul. Not only with Gus and his daughter, but Teddy and her dad. Because that relationship was honestly just so fucking beautiful. I absolutely eat this series up. I can't wait to get to the last one, and I just had so much fun with this. The tropes for this one are best friend's brother, enemies to lovers, nanny, single parent, small town, cowboy, and grumpy sunshine. And that's all the books that I read in the month of September, so now we get to go through the TBR basket. And for the first time this year, it is empty. I have finally emptied the TBR basket. That is what I get for only reading from my physical TBR. So now we just get to fill this up and find out what I'm going to be reading in the month of October. Now, everyone knows that the month of October has a very specific mood. It's dark, it's spooky, it's Halloween-esque. For some people it's scary, not for me, I'm a massive pansy. So there is going to be a certain vibe to the books that I'm going to be reading in October, because of course there bloody is. So the first one of those I'm going to be picking up is The Scarlet Veil by Shabby McCurran. This one is a vampire romance, and vampires are definitely Halloween vibes. This one is the Fairy Loot edition. I have been meaning to pick this up for the longest time. Hopefully I can get to this one this month. Then we have a book that I picked up recently, which is Hemlock and Silver by T. Kingfisher. I don't really know much about this one, apart from the main character drinks poison on purpose. And I just saw the word poison, saw this cover and went, October. And look at this naked book. Ooh, that's pretty. I didn't know that it was that pretty. That's nice. I like that. I've read some T. Kingfisher books before, and they are dark in the way that Tim Burton is dark. You know, like it's creepy, but not scary. And that is the vibes that I'm going for this month. Now, the next book that's going in the TBR basket might simply just be a recency bias, because I saw Becca from Becca and the Books read The Darkness Within Us recently, and it's kind of put this to the forefront of my mind. Now, I did read the first book in this series, which is The Shadows Between Us, and this has my favourite opening line of any book that I've read. Like, the opening line of this just lives rent-free in my brain. The first line of this book is, "They never found the body of the first and only boy that broke my heart, and they never will." The opening line in this book is, "My husband is taking too long to die." Like, honestly, say less. I loved this one. I can't wait to get to this one. Now, it's not October without some dark romance. Now, this just stands in for anything from my dark romance shelf, but the one that's going in the basket is going to be Leather and Lark by Bryn Weaver, because I've had this on my TBR for far too goddamn long, and I have to get to it. Like, it's October. Dark romance with serial killers and is it accidental cannibalism in this one? I would imagine so. Auto cannibalism. Don't know what the fuck that means, but I'm sure I'm gonna find out. The Halloween October vibe encapsulates all monsters, so why not put a monster why choose romance in there? So we've got the last book in the Tempting Monsters series by Catherine Moon, which is Sanctuary with Kings. I really like the first book in this series. The second one was just kind of okay. I also want to read the novella that's in this series, and then hopefully I can get to the last one as well. Next, we have a more wholesome October read, which is giving more autumn vibes than Halloween vibes, and that's going to be The Enchanted Greenhouse by Sarah Beth Durst. This is from the same author that wrote The Spell Shop, and I read that at the start of the year, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to get to this one this month. Also, it has a cat with wings on the cover. Say less. And the last book that's going in the TBR basket is going to be Rewitched by Lucy Jane Wood. I don't really know what this one's about, because I think I keep getting the synopsis of this one confused with the new Sango Mandana book, but I really want to get to this one, especially because I know how much my cousin really loves this author, so I really want to know what all the hype is about and why she loves it so much. So here we have a very full TBR basket for October. So if you managed to get this far into the video, then leave me a butterfly emoji for Quicksilver in the comments down below, and let me know what you plan on reading in the month of October. But for now, thank you so much for stopping by. It has been lovely having you here, and I hope to see you in another video coming very soon. Bye.